Hello and welcome to another video of Truckers World. Okay, first of all, I just want to get this right off the bat. Those of you who have subscribed to my channel, I just want to say thank you very much for that. Appreciate that very much. I do try to give the best advice I can, and obviously it is only my personal opinion as well on a lot of these subjects as well, so I do appreciate that. So thank you. So today's video is going to be about why I personally wouldn't want to do Hiab work. Now, again, it's only me, only my personal opinion and what I like and what I don't like on the reasons why I wouldn't do it. Now, personally, I haven't done Hiab work. However, I've been to a few interviews. I've also got a very close friend who does Hiab work, and I've basically interviewed him, and he's told me everything about what he does. And given that fact, you know, even though you would probably know that little bit more for yourself if you did it, I personally believe it's not for me. For these reasons. However, these are only the reasons, almost like the negative reasons. I'm sure there might be a few positives in there, but this is personally why I wouldn't do it. So I'm going to relay what he said to me about how hard the job is, so to speak. Okay, so first of all, with Hiab, obviously you know you work in a crane, electrical equipment. So obviously that kind of equipment can go wrong, and for my friend it has gone wrong in the past. He was on a job, suddenly the crane just stopped, it was left in motion above, carrying I think it was how many tons of bricks, and he had a real job trying to get through to the office, trying to get someone to fix it, delayed him terribly, basically spoiled his whole day. So that kind of thing is an issue. Now, fair enough, obviously, you know, on normal wagons, if you've got tail lifts, that can go wrong as well. So it's across the board that, but that's obviously with Hiab work, it does happen. Probably very rare though, I would say, but it has happened. Now with Hiab work, I always thought that you kind of deliver to big building sites. Now that might be true, you know, certain places definitely, certainly have a mix of that. But a lot of it, you know, some kind of blue chip companies, you're probably aware of them, are on the high street and whatnot, do deliver to homes. So beware, you know, these are big wagons, quite long wagons, and you've got to deliver obviously within kind of like housing estates. Can be very difficult indeed. When I was on a delivery once years ago, well, I say a year ago, about a year ago, when I was delivering with Sainsbury's, and I saw a Hiab truck backing into almost like a garage. It was so tight, and he had a hell of a job getting in and out from what I remember. So beware of those tight spaces. Also as well, I remember definitely one time when I was driving through a town and I saw a Hiab truck parked. Now it was on like a busy kind of like main road with shops on either side, so almost like a town centre, and he was diagonal in where this they would have like the scaffold on a building, and he was diagonally there. I mean, literally there's no room whatsoever. So I think a lot of Hiab drivers will probably agree out there that you do have to go down some very tight spaces, housing estates, country lanes, you know, building sites within town centres. So beware of that as well. Personally, that's not for me, but of course you probably do get used to that. Okay, so next one is customer demands. You know, again, I had that kind of idea where you just go to building sites, lots of space, just drop it there, mate, that's fine. You know, and you want that, don't you? But a lot of it is a customer demand. So, you know, for example, you might be going down to a farm area or a house, and the customer will simply say, you know, he wants it there. He doesn't want it there, he wants it right there where it's the most difficult part for you to get your wagon in that position and for you to get the Hiab equipment and get it in there. You know, because a lot of it will be about positioning your wagon. It won't just be about, you know, park up there or the crane will do the rest. Hiab drivers will tell you that it is also about positioning your wagon in the correct position for that. So you have got the customer demands on there. And, you know, again, my friend told me he's had a few little, let's just say, arguments with some customers who want it in a certain place, and it's very difficult for him to get in that place. So beware, obviously, there, if you're delivering to customers, private customers, probably more so than business, who might be a bit more understanding, they might quite be demanding on where they want certain items placing. Okay. Next thing, obviously, you're going to be loading and unloading your wagon, you know, maybe not so much sometimes loading, but certain places will probably request you to load your own wagon and also unload your own wagon. Obviously means all the legal reasons, securing your wagon obviously, and all the legal reasons when you're unloading that wagon. A lot of practices there that you've got to be careful of. Obviously you'll do your training, but it's just another tier to add to a little bit of pressure when you're working. So probably not too difficult when you get used to it, but it's just another tier of work. And in my opinion, probably, I don't think I'd be too bothered probably once I got used to it, but it's one of those things, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on from that. Obviously, it's an all-weather job. You're not going to be, most of the time I would have thought, you're not going to be going in warehouses delivering with a roof over your head. You're going to be outside, make sure you bring a big raincoat, because when it's raining, you're going to be out for, quite a while. You could be out for 20 minutes, half an hour, trying to get this stuff one at a time into the correct position. So it is an all-weather job. Again, that goes for a lot of us, in all honesty. Curtain siders, tail lifts, we're all in all weathers, if we're honest. So, take that as you will. But I think with hire work, definitely, where, for example, you might be able to sit in your cab if you're being unloaded, maybe it's class 1, or even as a class 2. If you've got tail lift, you might be in and out the wagon as a tail lift. When you hire, you're totally out there with the weather. There's nothing covering you. Okay, so be aware of that as well. And I think really the working time, not on all companies. There are some companies out there, again, are blue chip companies, which you've probably seen. I won't mention their name, but you'll know who they are. Operate maybe 8-9 hour shifts, but a lot do tend, from what I've gathered, definitely 9 to 10 hour shifts. Especially when you consider, that time, to load your wagon. Okay, sometimes some companies won't request you to do that, but when you're unloading your wagon at certain places, getting it into the right position, unloading your wagon, paperwork, etc. And obviously, you might be driving distance, you might not be. So the working time might be quite of a long day, 9-hour day. I know the friend I've been talking about, he does generally 9-10 hour days, and a lot of it is down to the fact of loading and unloading, getting it in that right position. You can imagine, obviously, going into a housing estate, just for example, his example, it says, and cars blocking your way where you need to get into, and next thing you know, well, who owns this car? I can't deliver it here, can't deliver it there, I need that. All that kind of stuff, which, kind of goes against you and extends your working time. That goes for all lorry drivers, to a certain extent. I can tell you a few stories on that, but again, that's something to consider. In my opinion, concluding this, I don't think it would be for me, mainly because of the tight spaces that you're going to be going down, customer demands, a lot of stress that are going to be on you there. And, it took my friend, I think he's told me about 6 months, maybe 8 months, he said, 6 to 8 months, to really get a hold of the job, to feel comfortable in that job where he knew what he was doing, So my hat's off to him. Obviously, he's fine now, he can do the job, and that's great. But it's just getting to that point, which might take a bit of time. For me personally, I don't think it's for me, like I say, for those reasons. But there's lots of Hiab drivers out there. I take my hat off to them. They do a very good job. And I tell you what, to get into some more spaces, very impressive. So, not for everybody, but consider those points. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like. If you want any comments, if you're a Hiab driver, by all means, give me some positives, what you might like about that job as well. Okay, right, well, it's Saturday, I'm still at work, not for much longer, I hope. I will be making a video again, maybe 1 or 2 next week, some interesting subjects, so keep tuned. Okay, thanks for watching.